Hi guys, and welcome to another vlog. It's pouring rain out, which is nice. I love it. It's a beautiful day. It's only 17 degrees, which is perfect. It's nice to get a break from the heat. For my friends in Fahrenheit, I don't know what that would be. I know 10 is 50, so maybe 17 would be like 65, maybe. Okay, so I actually just Googled it. It's 62, which is like, it's a nice break from the heat. A little cool. You could use a sweater if you wanted one, but we're not doing that. We're just enjoying the cooler weather. Nothing beats the sound of the rain, does it? It's just so nice. Okay, hi guys. It's the next morning. I think it's like 10 o'clock in the morning. The rain finally stopped, and I'm just getting ready now. Let me show you what I'm getting ready to do. I'm sitting here with Trixie. She's so sweet and so cute. But I'm getting ready to reread Bunny. I've got my Post-it notes ready to go. And I'm rereading this because my friend and I are starting a very niche podcast. We've actually got the first episode up, but I wanted to get 2 episodes up before I told you guys about it. So we're filming that this Sunday, which I think is the 23rd of July, and we're going to get this episode up. So the podcast has a little twist to it. We're talking about books, yes, but we're also doing something a little different. So I'll be sure to tell you guys all about that very soon. I'll probably put a special video up about it on Monday. Right, Trix? She's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. So I'm going to get started on that. So we're just at the doctor's office now, me and Ed. I'm here to get some refills, and I'll show you Ed. You haven't seen him in a while.
Hi. I'm also here for some refills and for some results.
A chart on the respiratory system. Yeah, nothing very exciting for either of us, but we thought we'd say hi.
Hi. My hair's getting longer.
All right, so as you can see here, I've got, don't mind the mess. I've got a hair color in, just trying to cover up the grays. You know how it goes. So yeah, that's what we're doing this evening. I'm gonna do that. Then I'm gonna read a bit more Bunny, I think. And then I don't know what else. We'll see. We'll see where the night takes us. All right, hair dyed. Me feeling younger. Just feeling younger, that's all there is to it. So I'm gonna go now and read a bit more Bunny. I'm so excited to film this podcast episode on Sunday, and I can't wait for you guys to see it and to get to meet my friend Krista. She's a riot, and we have a lot of fun in these podcasts for reasons which I'll explain to you at a later date. But yeah, I can't wait. I just realized that twice in that last clip I said we're going to go film the podcast. Can't wait for you to see it. That's not accurate. We're going to go record the podcast, and I can't wait for you to listen to it. It's not video. It's going to be on Spotify, and I'm very excited. Alright, hi there guys. I thought I would come down in this vlog. I put on some makeup just because it felt like the right thing to do. Hair's dyed, but it's up because it got hot today. Yesterday was beautiful, cool, perfect. Today, hot again. Terrible. Hate it. Anyway, yeah, what else is going on? Just reading tonight. That's about it. It's having a nice, quiet night. We had a good day today and yesterday. Although I must say I've got a really terrible canker sore on the side of my tongue. I don't know if in the past few videos you've noticed that sometimes I'm talking a little funny. It's because I've got this canker sore. I've been gargling salt water, but you know what? Let me know in the comments down below if you know any like old wives cures passed through the generations for how to more quickly heal up a canker sore. It's been like 2 weeks at this point, and it's getting better every day. Like the first couple of days I had it, I couldn't film. It was too painful to talk or eat or anything. So it's getting better. But still, if we can speed this up, that would be fantastic. So yeah, I don't really have a ton of news for you guys. We've just been busy. It's been working tons. Anna's been working tons. There's only about a month and a half left now until she goes back to school for her second year. I'm already, anytime I think too long about her leaving, like the other day it was so hot and I was like, I can't wait for summer to be over. And then as soon as that thought came into my mind, the second thought of when summer goes, Anna goes with it, and I was like, never mind, never you mind. I will take this heat to have my girl home with me. What else? As you saw earlier, we're at the doctor, both of us, for very boring appointments just to get refills. For me, I've got GERD, really bad like acid reflux problems that I've had for, oh my goodness, I don't know, 15 years. So she gives me a medicine for that. As for Ed, he's been having some neurological difficulties the past, gosh, I want to say year or two. What we think has happened, he's had test after test after test done. We still don't have a definitive answer, but what we and the doctor think may have happened was a few years ago, say 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, he got a really bad infection. He got a bad infection in his knee. And like when he went into the hospital, the doctor was like, thank God you came. If you had waited any longer, it would have went septic. And they put him on an antibiotic and he was resistant to it. So they put him on a long course. He was on this antibiotic for almost a year. And as time went on, he kept feeling worse and worse in different ways. And in doing some research, we found out that this particular antibiotic can have a very rare, it's very rare, it's like 2% or less than 2% of people can end up developing neurological problems because of the antibiotics. So because nothing else is coming back, you know, his blood work comes back perfect. Every test he sent for comes back perfect. The only thing we can think of is that it must have been caused by this antibiotic. So at this point, they've put him on a nerve pain medicine, and that helps him a lot. And so now it's really just kind of wait and let the nerves heal themselves. We think in a month or two, he's going for a lumbar puncture just to make sure there's nothing going on in there. But we think it's a very rare side effect from the antibiotics. So we're just kind of dealing with that. And that's about it. Nothing too exciting, but you know, it's what's going on. And there's just something so devastating about watching a loved one struggle and not being able to help them. Like, my whole thing is if I see someone struggling, I'm like, okay, what can I do? Tell me what to do. But when it's something like this and there's nothing you can do and you're just like sitting there watching, and it's difficult, as I'm sure many of you can relate to, you know. So yeah, that's that on that front. As for me, my book 2 is coming along very good. I've also already started sort of churning some ideas for book 3. I'm thinking either, because I've got ideas and parts written for both of these ideas, either a short story collection or a poetry collection. And what's interesting is, when I was younger, when I was in my 20s, my late teens, early 20s, I was crazy about poetry. I loved it so much, and I loved writing it. You know, of course now, as an adult, looking back at the poetry you wrote when you were a teenager, you're like, oh, yikes. But I would be curious to play around with it now and see what kind of things I can come up with, you know, so much more life experience. So maybe that, maybe a short story collection, maybe something different altogether. There's constantly ideas just churning, and I tend to find this happens as I'm getting towards the end of whatever project I'm working on. My brain starts like trying to distract itself with new ideas. So I keep telling it, like, settle down. Settle down. Anyway, what else can I tell you? I don't even know. Ed and I have been watching Peaky Blinders. Have you seen that? It's so good. I love Cillian Murphy so much. So much. I've loved him since I saw him in Red Eye with Rachel McAdams, I think in the early 2000s. He often plays a villain, which does it for me. I love a good villain. So we've been watching Peaky Blinders because I've watched the first 5 seasons, and then finally the 6th season came out on Instagram, Netflix. And so I asked Ed, I was like, do you want to go back to season 1 and watch it with me? Because it's so good and I think you'd like it. And he does. He's loving it. So this weekend we're also, speaking of Cillian Murphy, we're going to go see Oppenheimer. And we're going to see the Barbie movie. We're going to do the Barbenheimer double feature that everyone on the internet has been talking about. So it's going to be kind of fun. I think we're going to start with Oppenheimer and then sort of cleanse the palate at the end of the day with something fun and funny with Barbie. So I think that's about it. Then Sunday I'm going to go record a podcast, which I'm going to tell you about real soon, about the kind of twist. It's not going to be for everybody, and I hope it doesn't turn anyone off entirely. Like, listen if you want, don't if you don't. It's totally fine. But I hope the special twist doesn't you know, turn anyone off entirely. Basically, is my, I'm really building this up. It's probably going to be very anticlimactic when I finally do tell you all about it in detail, but that's where we're at. So I think I'm probably going to go now and get this vlog ready to go up. And tomorrow's a new day. Just trying to think if there's anything happening tomorrow. I don't think so. I think it's going to be a quiet day. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great summer. I hope it's not too hot. I hope it's not too hot. And if it is too hot, I hope you have air conditioning. We don't here, because back in the day, like 10 years ago, here in Alberta where I live, the extreme heat would be like a week or 2. So like no one put air conditioning in. Like when I lived in Ontario, in the Windsor area, everyone had air conditioning. We had air conditioning, everyone had it, because it's hot and it's dry, it's hot and it's humid for the entire summer. You need it. But here, 10 years ago, you didn't. You'd have 2 weeks of extreme heat, a dry heat, and then it would be bearable the rest before and after. But every year now, that extreme heat period gets longer and longer. And I'm not a fan of it. I'm telling you right now. Anyway, like I said, I hope it's not too hot. And if it is, I hope you've got a comfortable home to go to where it's not too hot inside, at least. Anyway, the wildfires are still burning here. It is crazy. Today, it's not too smoky. Yesterday, it wasn't too smoky either. The day before that, it was insane. You'd get up, you'd look out the window. It's a beautiful morning, you're thinking, and then you open the curtains and it's orange outside. And now, knock wood, I'm lucky I don't live in an area that has yet been affected. And hopefully it continues that way, but man, oh man, the air quality is just awful. And I know it's floating down to my friends in America as well, and that's just, it's a lot for everyone. So hopefully it's not too smoky where you are. But yes, I'm gonna go now. Thank you so much for watching, as always. Oh, I wanted to tell you, earlier today actually, I had a friend of mine here on YouTube comment on my last video asking if I had an Amazon wish list. And if I did, could I link it in the description box? And I hadn't, because honestly, I hadn't thought of it. Oh my goodness. I just went to adjust my glasses because I hadn't thought of it. But I made one, and I'm going to put it in the description box. So obviously, ignore it if you'd like. But if you ever wanted to send something off it, feel free. But again, no pressure. I just hadn't thought of it, and now it's there. So... Alright, it's time to go. It's too warm. I gotta go to bed. Thank you for watching, and I hope you're having a great day. Bye, guys.